Carl here. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to do a professional live stream setup of a podcast. All you need is a few good softwares to get yourself started. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right, so you all know you got to start with Google. First thing you want to do, you want to be able to have video feedback. So let's go ahead and do that first. So one software that you can always download is either OBS or Streamlabs. Let's go ahead and download OBS. So we're going to do that just by typing in OBS download. So we go to OBS Studio, and then depending on what system you have, whether you have Windows, Mac, or Linux, you download OBS. So I'm working on a Mac, so I'm going to hit that. And just for the record, I already have Streamlabs. It's the reason why we're going the OBS route first, just to kind of show you guys step by step how to set this up. All right, now that it's downloaded, go ahead and open that. It's going to give us this right here. Drop it, click on applications. Then we got OBS here. We're going to open that up, close this, open. If you got a Mac, sometimes you got to enable this. So you just click on this gear here. Do the quit and reopen. Lock your gear back. Let's just go ahead and close that out. It'll show up down here. It's going to ask you for access and optimize for streaming. Let's just click next. Then it's going to ask you what your current canvas size is and everything else. So either 60 or 30, but prefer 60 when possible. And then it's going to ask you what service. So Twitch, custom, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. So I'm just going to assume that you all have Twitch already. So just log into your Twitch account, or if you got Facebook, log into your Facebook account, or whatever account you have, just go ahead and log into it, and we'll get to this next step. Once you get logged in, you're going to go ahead and click authorize. It's going to authenticate, and then you can just click next. It's going to do its little configuration. So this doesn't mean that your computer's about to crash. It's just this is what they decided to show instead of currently loading or updating your bandwidth test. All right, so once it finished testing, it's going to give you all of these results. It's going to say what the service is you're using, whether your server is auto, your video bit rate, and then your streamer encoder software, record quality, base canvas, and then your output resolution. So this is based on it reading your machine and kind of deciding what's best for you. So you just click on apply settings. All right, so once it's done, you're going to get stream information on your left. You're going to get chat information on your right. So when people are chatting and going live with you, another thing to pay attention to is your CPU percentage. Now, if this thing is kicking up to anywhere around, basically anywhere above 60%, you probably don't want to click on that stream button. You probably just want to do a simple start record. Now let's go ahead and go into setting up your scene. But before we do that, we have to download one more thing that's going to give us the ability to record the audio on our desktop as well as hear us. All right, so let's click that plus sign. I show you. Now, when you go to the home page, you go up here to the top where it says download SWB audio app. So you click on that. Once you click on that, you're going to open it up, and and I've already done it. So you're going to open up this app, and you just say, hey, move to that application folder. And it's going to ask you to pretty much start your free trial. And if this is something that you want to use, you go ahead and pay for the subscription or buy it outright. All right. So I've already done that. So the next step you want to do is you want to go here. You want to type in audio MIDI setup. And now at this point, you can close out this screen. So this is how you want to do this. You want to set up your SWB audio capture with your output. Now, what that master device is either your USB audio or your Mac Mini speakers, or whichever is using your output, right? So for me, I'm using my output inside of some headsets whenever I stream or record and stuff like that. So I go here and you can off click on that, and then you say SWB audio. So now you have your multi output device number 2, and you have your SWV audio capture. Once you have this set up, your next step is going into your settings, go to your sound, and then you make your output your multi output device. And that's that in a nutshell. You get back to your scenes and you want to set up your scene. So usually what I like to do is I like to set up at least 2 to 3 scenes. So my first scene is just a video hub of me. So this first scene I'm just call main hub. So let's just rename that. And then let's just go ahead and create another scene, and we're going to call this, we can call it ads and commercials. And then the last scene is be right back. Something that I always like to make. All right, now that we have our 3 scenes set up, the next thing we can do is set up our 3 scenes. So for the main hub, you click on this plus sign, and you got a lot of different things that you can select. You got your audio input, you got your output, you got your display capture, and I'm just kind of going through the main ones that we'll need. We got your media sources, window capture. So what we want to go ahead and do is our video capture device first. And we're going to call this camera. And what I'm using right now, it is a iPhone, which is set up through Reincubate Camo, which is a pretty cool tool, and I can show y'all this in a later video. So now you're seeing a big version of me and that mini version of me. So then you can set the preset to 720, or we can bump it up to 180. 720 is just fine though. So just click on that. Once you get in here, now you can set up your window and however you want your scene to be set up. And we can go into a more detailed video on how to set up a very cool graphic scene for your podcast. So we're just going to expand this across. And once we get it all the way across, we can lock that. Now, another thing you can do is add your advertisements and placements all around your window. And the way you do that is you go to your sources again. You click on plus. First, you got to make sure you have some sources though. You click on plus, go to image, placements. That's what I'm going to call it. You browse your computer. So mine is here are my placements here where I kind of explain how you can create these for yourself. And you can always have them whenever you are streaming. So that's how you do that in a nutshell. You want to get it in the center, or you can do it right here. We're just going to place it in the center for the sake of this video. Once you get it where you want it, you can lock it. Another cool thing you remember, you can either turn it on, or turn it off. So we're going to turn it on. And now we have set up our scene. So now you can see that the mic is talking. The mic can hear me. And let's say, for example, we wanted to add some sound and some music to our stream, right? So we're clicking on, we're going to go to, let's just go to YouTube, right? All right. So since I have mine set up through my headset, I'm going to go ahead and put on my headset. All right. So we have some music queued up, but we don't have our sound queued up. So in order to do that, we're going to go back to our sources. Now, one thing to note is you don't want to do audio output capture because for whatever reason it's disabled. And you don't know it's disabled because it don't tell you this it's disabled. But I know it's disabled. That's why we went ahead and set up our audio MIDI. So you're going to go to audio input. And you want to call this desktop audio. Now it's going to pop up default, but what you want to go ahead and select is you want to click on SWB audio capture, which is fine. Let's just drag this because we don't need this to take up a lot of space. Because remember, we just pre-queuing the music. So when we're ready to play that, and I just did a quick test to make sure that you see when I hit play, it shot across the screen. So now I can lock that in place, and I know that that's good. That's good audio. So when you hit play, it's gonna start playing. And now, if this is your intro or something, that's how you set up that desktop audio. So that's scene one. Let's go ahead and do our ads and commercial scene. So now that we're on our ads and commercial screen, you still can see me down there in the corner. This is basically our ads and commercial scene. So if you have any pre-queued ads or anything that you want to display, now in order to do the ads page, you want to basically just take something pre-recorded that you have, and go ahead and set it up where when you click play, it just plays it and it runs it for you. For the sake of this video, we're just gonna take the video right here that we have, and we're just gonna pretend like this is our ad, and we want to just play this ad, right? So let's set up the scene. So we're just gonna click plus, and then we're gonna say display capture. We're just gonna call this the ad, and we're gonna click OK. Now you want to hold down, if you're on a Mac, you want to hold down options, and then drag it over like that, and then hold down options again, drag it down, hold down options again, drag it down. Now the resolution is going to be terrible because it's small, and I shrunk it down into a corner. And then you want to just drag it and click up. You can lock that. So we want to make sure that we add our desktop audio here as well. So remember, audio input capture. It's a little backwards, but it's all the same. So we just want to add existing since we already have our desktop audio. And now we can lock that. You can click play. And that's that, right? Last but not least, our Be Right Back screen. Now, in order to get this, you can have somebody design you a Be Right Back screen or whatever you want to do, or you can just go here and Google says Be Right Back. We'll be right back, or Be Right Back. And what I like to look at is 320 by 180. Those are pretty small, right? So let's find something that is not too small, but big enough to make sense. So I like to save image as. Let's see if we can just copy it to the desktop. Oh, let's see if we can drag it to the desktop. Let's just drag it. All right, there it is. So we drag that to the desktop. We can minimize this. We can just get rid of that because we're not streaming anything. Now, once we have that set, we can come up here, come to images, call it Be Right Back. Browse, go to desktop. And you can just hit OK. It's gonna look small. You just drag it to where you want it, get it to a good spot. You can click off of it. Now, if you want this to be set and you want your music to run or something like that, something like that, then what you're gonna do is you add your input audio source again, and we're just gonna do existing desktop audio. And now we can come here. Now, if you want to have some type of music theme going, uh, here's an even better one. So you put this in your hip pocket, and then once you go ahead and go do something, like I said, you can just drag that. Say for example, you had to leave. Just put that on and let people know you'll be right back. Now, what you really want to do whenever you go to your be right back screen is you want to make sure that you, once you mute your microphone, it's gonna gray out, but it's basically letting you know that you have muted your microphone, and you can still see it because it's picking up your mic, but nobody can hear you. And so this is an indicator for you today. Hey, I'm muted, so people can't hear me. So let me unmute once you get back. All right, so we have gotten this far. So we have our main hub, we have our ads and commercials, and we got our be right back screen. The last thing you want to do is make sure that when you start recording, this goes where you want it to go. So we're going to go to settings. We're going to go to video and output. What we want to do is go to our recording path, and we want to also change our recording format. MKV, you don't want to do that. You either want to do MP4 or MOV. I like to do MOV, and then you choose your browsing screen, and then you can create your new folder, call it podcast. And if you really want to get technical with it, you can say, 2022. So we're just going to put it on 2022 so that we know that all our 22 recordings are going here. Go to open, click OK. Now, here's another thing too. So what I've done, and you can see this right here. So I queued up my be right back. And another thing you can do, you can queue up your audio as well. So now that it's paused at the beginning, you got that queued up. You got your be right back queued up. Now you can go ahead and start recording. So let's go ahead and do a test record. What's up, guys? It's Carl here. This is another episode of the Carl Huff Tech podcast. Let's go ahead and get into some ads. So our first ad of the day is Eye of the Tiger. All right. We are back. So you go in there, and then if you have to go ahead and do something right quick, if you're waiting on the guest to get in, if you have to speak to them before you get started, you get your be right back screen. Hey guys, we'll be right back before we get our next guest in, and just give us a quick second. So what you're doing now is you just giving the audience a little break. They can go grab some water or something, waiting on your next guest to come in. You got your mic muted. You let your guests know, here go your notes, here go the questions I'm going to ask you, so on and so forth. And then once you're done doing that, you go ahead and unmute your mic. All right, we have Hood. And then another thing you can do too is what I like to do is go ahead, and another thing you can do is you can cue some sound effects that you want to hear. All right, so you can go ahead and cue those. So you can do that as well. So anytime you have a guest or anybody coming on to your show, you can go ahead and cue your applause and give them their introduction that they need, and then go ahead and say, welcome, Johnny Tsunami. And they'll get that applause and stuff like that. So a lot of good things you can do using some free software. It doesn't cost a lot of money to go ahead and get started. OBS is free. YouTube is free. And only thing that you really have to pay for is your SWB, your audio capture. But it works. So that's a good way to work around that. Once you're done with that, you're going to hit stop recording. I went ahead and stop recording for you guys. And I'm going to go to our folder that we set everything up in. So now that we stopped recording, we got our folder here. Go into our folder, and then now we can listen to our podcast and play it back. So what's up, guys? It's Carl here. This is another episode of the Carl Huff Tech podcast. So now you can see how everything kind of plays out. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We have done that. If you guys enjoyed that, go ahead and smash that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe. Leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what other videos you would like to see me do or tutorials to kind of help get you streamlined and going in the right direction. I am Carl Huff, and we're going to continue to learn on the go as we grow. We'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.